Hi, it's Diane from My Sacred Circles, and today I wanted to offer you a special reading. Depending on which crystal you choose, depends on which reading is meant for you. For each have very specific needs, and so I want you to take the next 10 seconds to really contemplate and meditate on which one you're most drawn to and select that. If you really feel drawn to more than one, listen to both messages. You may get something from each and see how they apply in your life. And you can always fast forward if you're not the first reading and you're the fourth or the third. Just fast forward the video to where your crystal was. If you chose the black tourmaline, then you are in need of grounding. So this particular one was for people who needed a little more earth in their life and needed grounded. So let's see what was pulled for you, and I'll explain it a little bit. So the first card you have is the Seven of Swords. If you look at the card, it really is a dark card. It's cold and dark. It's cloaked. There are hills and rocks, but there's also a clear path. Swords is an air element, and air is mental. So what this really represents is that you need to use your mental energy in order to figure out how to best find some peace in your life and to be more grounded. Right now, there is chaos all around you, like the rocks and stuff, and you need to be aware of your situation. So you're shining a light on your situation, but you don't want others to be aware of how you're addressing it. So some people look at this as a deceitful card or a betrayal card or a manipulative card, and in some ways and in some times it can represent that. However, the way I'm seeing this card for you is really more, yes, there is, it may not be a way you would normally wish to work. You might want to be openly authentic and not have to hide, and do things in secret or whatever, in the dark. But really, the way I see this is there are times in your life where when you're working with someone, you need to get to understand how they work best, figure that out, and then you just sort of work alongside that. So I like to think of this more as a how can you be more tactful? How can you use your charm? I think of this more as a diplomacy card. And yes, in diplomacy there is manipulation and bargains and stuff, but this is for you, I think, more about you need to get through this time and you need to figure things out using that mental energy. And you don't need to tell others what's going on, but you do need to clear the path so that you can get through it. Now, the next card is the father, husband, brother, and son card. So this may mean that the situation that you're dealing with involves a man, or it may mean that you just need to balance your masculine and feminine energy. So this also can mean, like, in terms of relationships, that you want to heal yourself first, and that would be done in silence, and then by healing yourself, your relationships will be healthier and can flourish better, and you can have new relationships or better relationships with the people that you currently have in your life. It also implies that you need to let go of anger, blame, or guilt to make space for those healthier relationships. The next two cards, the way I drew these cards, these are your animal spirit cards that give you a little bit of guidance and advice. And I really think these are really funny in relation to the Seven of Swords, because, you know, you're doing things in darkness and secret, and you have the cheetah and the weasel. So what the cheetah is you want to set a clear intention. You want to stay focused on what that intention is, and you want to move quickly in order to achieve your goal. So, in other words, your intention right now is to find peace and feel more grounded, to subdue whatever chaos is going on in your life. And you need to stay focused on achieving that. So that is really saying, you know, stay positive, stay focused, be very clear with your desires, and act upon it. Again, I'm going to go back to this. You're going to act on it, but you're going to act upon it within, you know, without making a fuss. You're just going to do what you need to do and not really, you know, say things. You're just going to do them. The next one, I always feel bad that it gets such a bad rep, but is the weasel. And the weasel, it's really about paying attention and observing what's happening inside and around you. So this is really looking at your environment. Is it toxic? What is going on? Really digging deep and looking at a situation and seeing the situation for what it is, you know, taking the blinders off, looking and seeing what it is, but also what effect is that having on you? So you want to pay attention, and you want to have an intention to rectify the situation, stay focused on addressing it, move quickly in order to achieve the goal. And that is how you have a clear path towards feeling more grounded and a little more at peace and more balanced. If you chose this crystal or mineral, then you are really looking more at dealing with relationships or emotions. This is water, and it's really all about, you know, how you're feeling. So the first card that I chose was the moon, and the moon is such a great reminder that there are different phases that come and go and come and go and come and go. And so right now you're in a moment where it is the dark side of the moon. And in the dark side of the moon, you have, you know, the new moon is a great time to really set intentions and reflect and dream about what you do want to manifest. And it's a reminder that you have control in your life, but right now may be a time of confusion because things are in darkness and things are hidden from you. So you can't see the final ending just yet. And so that can be a little frustrating, but it is a reminder that, the phases all happen. And so it is just a short little blip in the scheme of life. So, so I do want you to remember that in order to really get through this time. You pulled the teacher card. The teacher card, to me, in this particular reading, is really about your own personal life lessons that you need in order to, help you along the way with your emotions and your relationships. So let's look at, and I really think it's great, the symbolism, the ones that were pulled really do have a very strong water element. You have the platypus who swims, the camel who stores a lot of water, and the seagull that flies above the water. So the platypus, let's start with that. And this is really to stop complaining. You need to focus on your blessings. And really this goes back to setting those intentions and staying positive. Because we do have a law of attraction that tells us, that says, what we focus on is what we're drawing in. And so we don't want to say, I don't have enough money, or I, don't like my relationship. You want to say, I attract abundance, or I am worthy of a healthy relationship. I welcome a healthy relationship. I see myself within those kinds of things. I can navigate my emotions. So these are the kinds of things you want to really empower yourself and recognize that, if you want to get to the manifestation portion of the full moon in a way that is desirable, this is what you're going to do, is you're really going to focus on the blessings and you're going to stop complaining. The camel, like I said, the camel, it stores the water. This is really telling you have the resources to get you through the challenges before you. So you're fine. You have everything you need. You just need to know how to use them. Like I said, staying positive and setting the intentions. So, if you can be positive and understand that this is within your control, you are a being of abundance, and you are someone who can attract that you want to draw in. You just need to remember that you have everything that you need. And lastly, the seagull. And the seagull is really that this is a time for emotional healing. So when you are in this period of confusion and darkness, really take time to dig in and address your needs and concerns. And if you, again, following the moon's energy, the time for intentions is during a new moon. The time for letting go is as the moon wanes. So it's like, if you think of it just very logically, a new moon is, it's black, right? It's total, it's like darkness, right? And then little by little, you have a little sliver of a crescent moon, and then you have, it building and building and building, your first quarter. And then during this time, you're contemplating, you're focusing on positive things towards your desired outcome. And you're trying to bring about the manifestation that you want. After you get what you want, you need to release and let go of the stuff that no longer serves you. So this is really saying this full spectrum of the moon, you're really needing to use all of that time to not just manifest something, but let go of other things. If you chose the carnelian, you chose fire. You need a little passion, motivation, and drive, a little to do with that excitement in life. I think that we've all gone through a lot of difficulty during this time of being by ourselves, and a lot of people are suffering with depression. There's a rise in suicides, and there have been a lot of disagreements and pulling apart within family and friends on where they stand on different situations. And so the cards that I pulled for you, you have the upside down Temperance. And this is really about finding balance in your life. And it's a harmony card. And it's upside down. It really appears that you need to take action to be in the flow so that things don't get stagnant or stale. And this can be about your relationships. Maybe there's discontent within some of your relationships, or it could be about feeling your own energy being low or down. And so this could be that the relationships that you're having could have been an angry situation and not in harmony, or it could just be you're feeling low. So the fact that this card, I want to point out it in its upward state, because that's the goal. It's everything's flowing. There's a balance, and Isis is pouring the water from cup to cup so that it's always in motion. Really, that's what you want, is keep life exciting and interesting and not be stale. You want to keep things fresh. You want to have a little drive and excitement and motivation. And this being upside down and next to the peace offering really, to me, implies that this really has a lot to do with your relationships. So I would say, when I see this, I think that maybe you may have gotten a little too fiery, or someone got a little too fiery. And I feel like it must be you. I feel like this is telling me, it's important to make up and come from a place of love and to forgive and to find that harmony and peace both within relationships and within yourself. So whether you're trying to find balance or peace within your own body and feeling at peace with life, your situation, or harmony and peace with within a relationship, and a relationship is soured, or there was a fight or an argument, this card implies that it's like when you're ready, the other party will be ready and receptive to, mincing the fences and moving forward. And so it's really about you being ready and taking that next step of bringing, making amends and coming to terms with. And if it is a person, it's really, you need to extend the olive branch. So, what are the three? You got 3 cards here. I did these based off of how many fell out. Like, I only pulled 1 and 1 for these, but these I did on which ones were going to fall out of the deck. So, you got 3, and for yours, you got the humpback whale, the meerkat, and the emu, which I think are all 3 very fun animals. So the humpback whale, it's it's music. It's, think of these songs of the whales and stuff, and it's finding ways to just enjoy life. Music can be essential and really important to how we express ourselves. So whether that's dancing or karaoke or just singing, whether it's in the car or at home, playing the drums or an instrument, just, getting that musical expression out really can lift your spirits. And that is really what passion and energy and fire is all about, is rising up. The meerkat is a very social little animal, and it's telling you, get support from your friends. So be with friends. And thankfully, we are now coming into a time where we can get back to being with some friends. And maybe there are people you need to lean towards to help you through in order to get you to this peace offering, or to get you over any issues of anger. But this is saying, now's the time to be with your friends. And the emu, I think the emu, if I remember correctly, the emu may run fast, but the emu is really about adventure. So it's a good time to go on a new adventure. And this, again, we are coming out of being stuck in our homes for an extended period of time, not having seen very many people, and being in a very low place worldwide. And, it's time to bring that fire and passion and excitement back into your life. And so try a new adventure. It doesn't need to be far from home. It can just be trying something different that you've never done before, doing things differently. But really, it's about shaking things up and having some new adventure. And that is your reading. If you chose the kyanite, then you chose air, that you were looking for inspiration and something to do with freedom and thoughts, that things of the mind. So what I pulled for you was upside down Queen of Wands. And what I want to say about this is, first off, Wands is a fire element, and fire needs air. And the fact that this is upside down, this is a very powerful card. This can be a person, or it can be a, just like an ownership of, being in a place in life at a time in life where you are in charge. And this is Penelope, who really was known to be very loyal and kept the fires burning. Yours is upside down. And so I feel like this is telling me that you need to, bring a little air into your life. You need to bring up the fire, that you need to, this is really for Penelope, it was a time of survival while her husband was away for years. And this has been a time of survival for all of us, where we have just, had to stay indoors or refrain from seeing others. And we did what we needed to do. And so when you're doing that, you're a little more limited and not feeling quite as free. And there's a lot of, toxicity. And so what I'm feeling is that you need to rise above. And this is saying to clear and shield your energy. So there's just a lot going on right now. And interestingly enough, kyanite is one of the crystals that you can use. I use this, in place of sage. If I don't have a sage that I like at the time, this is the crystal version. So if you don't like the smoke, or if you don't like the smell of sage, you use it exactly the same. It is a wonderful crystal. And it looks like the sky, which is why I pulled this one for air. So I found it interesting that I used this to cleanse. And this is saying you need to clear and shield your energy. So you've got some toxicity going on, and something's pulling you down, and you need to cleanse, then shield, and then sort of rise above it. So the Wolverine is saying you're a lot tougher than you think. So don't allow things to drag you down. You are the queen. You're the queen. You're in charge. You don't need to. You're not a page or a knight. You're a queen. That means that you're higher up. You can own something at this point. And so recognize that. Recognize that you're tougher than you are, and take care of yourself so that you can get those fires burning, and you can clear everything from your field, and shield yourself often from things that are toxic in your environment and in your life, and from toxic people. And it's time to really discover that magnetic, imaginative person that you have. And so it may be out of sheer necessity to help keep your energy up that, you get creative and you tap into those talents, but recognize your strength and come from a place of love and loyalty. And so make sure you love yourself first. Don't give more to others than you have to give. Love yourself first, and then once you show yourself that love, then you're able, it's sort of like that oxygen mask. you have to, in order to know how to really love another human being, you really have to learn to love yourself first, and um, and you deserve that. You're tough. You don't need to be in this upside down state. You just need to recognize you're tough, you're strong, you're capable. You just need to get rid of whatever this toxic situation is and learn how to shield yourself from it and to rise above it. I hope that helped. For all of these readings, I used the Mythic Tarot, the Ascended Masters, and the messages from your animals, spirit guides, in case any of those spoke to you. And if you liked any of the decks more than others, if some seemed a little more meaningful to you. So those are the cards that I used. So I hope that this has been helpful, and I wish you nothing but happiness, joy, and peace in your life. Namaste.